Welcome to Zwift number 77. This is stage 4, Rolling with Enve series. We're on the Queen's Highway after party. Here's a look at the route, which involves 5 laps around the Queen's Highway loop, which you can see it doing on the split screen. And then finally the blast up the Yorkshire KOM reverse, which you will see very shortly as we come round to the final lap, and that's a bit of a killer as we finish the race. So you can see that we've started the race and we had 66 entrants, although only 57 people started, and you can see that it was quite a effort for me to catch hold of the group, but I did actually managed that in the end. I was in the category 210 to 330s. I've got a ZRS of 323, and we're going to be doing 19.9 kilometers, and we're going to be doing 301 meters of incline. So 5 laps, probably around about 40 meters of incline per lap, and then that Yorkshire KOM reverse to finish off, which was a really steep incline to finish off. You know, you've heard me say this before, I'm not a climber, so knew I was going to be struggling, but wasn't able to join into the ZTRL series. I've been trying to do it all day. I've had loads of problems logging in. So I've not been able to join a team despite me wanting to race in some of the races around the 6 o'clock time, but ended up doing this Rolling with Enve stage 4 just so that I could put some content out there really. So here I am up with the front group. There was around about 45 of us as we went up the inclines for the first time, and you can see that it's not going too bad. Average watts 247, heart rate at 155. As we go up towards the top of the loop over the start finish line, so there'll be 5 more loops of this and then up the reverse KOM. So able to settle in here, but you can see I'm slightly distanced here from the front group. I'm back in 35th position, so potentially there's 34 ahead of us that you can see. There's a split certainly appearing now, and although we're going downhill, I've eased off slightly and they've just gone off into the distance because they've got the benefit of a huge draft. So I'm back in the group of around about 6 or 7 riders and just settling in with them, but you'll see from the mini map that the group in front there, they're already 5, 6, 7 seconds ahead by now, and they've gone off into the distance. So going to be settling in now for a long struggle towards the finish line, so keep watching. So here's our group as we start to head back uphill again. You can see various different riders here. Just ahead of me we've got Brian Gross for one, and then we've got Svein Olaf Vestavik is also riding just ahead of me at this point. You can see JK, not the one from Jamiroquai, this is Johannes K, riding in and around the group, but I feel quite strong going up the hill, so powering up in my lowest gear, putting in the watts. On my shoulder is Mike Bunting just going past me there, and there's Robert Crank as well, and I think the last rider that is in and amongst us of any note is Arnaud Olivier, and we just keep powering up the hill. Feel strong. You can see that nobody's making any effort to break away, and we're all staying nicely together. There's a left hand turn here before we see the power up banner. I've got a drafting boost, and I think I actually forget to pop it before the banner on this occasion, but I did manage to sort it out every time after that, so that was a bit of a mistake there. I would have liked to have popped it just before going over the banner, but you can see I'm leading up over the top as we drop back down the other side now, and the riders, Brian, Gross, there's Mike Bunton again, just going past me, and I'm easing off now, using a bit more draft than they are probably using, and just sticking with them really. The group ahead are starting to fragment. You can see that there's one rider 14 seconds ahead of us on the positional display on the right hand side, and the riders behind us, they are, let's have a look, they're around about 15-20 seconds back I think at this point. But yeah, so lots of fragmentation due to the fact there's so many inclines going up. There's a rider up ahead that you can see just 6 seconds ahead, and that's Salvo. He's coming back to us very quickly, and the riders behind us, they're 30 and 40 seconds back. So like I said, lots of splits, but back round again, going uphill again, and just feeling quite confident and quite strong that I can work quite well. There's Brian Gross on the Tron bike ahead, but I'm not allowing him to make a push. I think he also eases off at that point as well, so that was fine. And just working up the hill, putting down the watts in consideration of my own weight, but because it's nothing spectacular, but just putting down a nice gradual set of watts just to keep myself pushing along. You can see that most of the riders are well off in front, 45-50 seconds already ahead of us, and similarly the riders behind us are almost 40 seconds behind as well. So just going to settle down with these 6 or 7 other riders and just take it from there really. So here we go under the banner, and I do remember to pop my drafting boost at this point, so that's a lot better than the previous lap, and can take advantage of just easing off a little bit more. Watts probably go down to about 170 as we go down the hill. There you go, 160, 170. So just easing completely off here, just settling in behind a few of the other riders, get the same drafting boost for the next lap round, so I'll pop that hopefully in a similar position if I'm not tiring too much. So just taking more time going down the hill, and I'm in just my mini race here now. There's absolutely no chance of me catching the riders ahead, and similarly there's no chance of the riders behind catching us. When I say catch the riders ahead, what I mean by that is the mass group, which I will fast forward to shortly just to give you the understanding of what's going on ahead, because I'm 40th position, so there's still those 35-ish riders ahead, powering on. You can see that on the position data on the right hand side they are over a minute ahead, so they're just getting further and further ahead here now. So here we go, back up the hills again, and I'll watch you as we climb up the hill. But there's Salvo. We've brought Salvo back to us eventually. He sits in the purple, and just making sure that we can stay with him. There's another rider here just in front, but we're actually lapping that rider. So the next person is Korsholm from Norway, and he's 10 seconds ahead, so just see if we can catch up with those riders who are just starting to peel off from the front group and not being able to sustain the effort all the way through to the end. So here we go, up on Korsholm, he's 9 seconds ahead, and we'll just keep an eye on him. Here's the left hand turn at the top again. We've got, I think, 2 more times up this hill, and then the final reverse KOM. So I'm still riding alongside Robert Crank, and Mike Bunting's also there. Arnaud Olivier, I'm probably saying that wrong, Oliver is also with us. Two of the riders you saw us come up against before, they've just gone straight out the back. One of those is Selbo, and Garcia Leon was another rider. So you can now see that Corsham is just 4 seconds ahead, and just in front of him is Javier Mekla. So 6.6 kilometres to go, and you can see that Corsham is within touching distance now as we drop downhill and start the climb up the back of the loop again. There goes Corsham, and we're thinking that he's going to go straight out the back. You can see that the gap to him is 2 seconds, but also you can see that Johannes K is a good couple of seconds behind, as well as Mekla, who's also dropped off. So there's a few who are quite far back. Corsham's already 5 seconds back. I've got Arnaud Olivier, and I've said it wrong again, riding alongside us, and some of the other riders that I've also been talking about, like Gross and Bunting. So here we are, we've picked off a few more. Corsham is 4 seconds behind, as is Mekla, but also unfortunately Johannes K has now dipped away, and he's just eased off a bit now, but slight gap here. But this was a point that I felt that I could get up out of my saddle and just power up in my lowest gear and just catch them and sustain a good position. Heart rate said it was 166, but I felt comfortable tonight with my heart rate. Didn't get it anywhere near 170 on any of these loops. I'm not sure how high I got it on the final KOM, but certainly just having it around 160 when we got to the top was manageable. So here we go, is another rider just ahead of us, and that is CR Team Zoot, who seems to be just getting dropped off. So here's the front group, watching Kay Belgum at this point, who's up amongst the top riders, but just zip back to myself just in case I lost my position. There's only 4.3 kilometres to go, so just wanted to get an understanding of how far ahead they were, and they were a good few minutes ahead at this point already. So I'll try and zip back to the leaders as they go over the finish line. We're coming up to that last uphill, and then it'll be dropping back down the loop again before going up the KOM. So despite watching other riders on YouTube, I hadn't actually realised that the finishing straight was going to be up the large incline up the Yorkshire KOM reverse. I just thought we were going to be coming back around this loop again, so I had a strategy in my head that I would be hopefully in a good position on this flat section here just before the left hand turn, and then I would use my power that I'd used on most laps to push ahead of some of the other riders and finish ahead of the group that I was riding with. But it wasn't until I fast forwarded and saw that the other riders were going up a different incline, up that Yorkshire KOM reverse, Then I realised that I had a different finish to contend with, so that was unfortunate. But just sitting in with the rest of the riders now. We've got Villapuca just as a back marker, somebody we're lapping. There is WD Schmidt just ahead of us, 12 seconds ahead, and we're working quite hard here and seem to be picking off quite a few riders ahead. So here we go, we're fast forwarding, and here is that Yorkshire KOM reverse that you can see. So fast forward right the way through to M. de Schmidt before just shuffling back a few riders and watching James Kunst and just watching him. He's in 4th position. There's a couple of riders gone past him, like Nut of Belgium, and then we just shuffle back to Kay Nixon and various other riders that I'm hoping to get coming over the finish line. Nixon was 10th at the time, but just dropped back a few places. I think he finished 11th in the end, and then just trying to follow some riders through. There's A. Mitchell, C. Adamson, Heikkinen, Mitchell from the Rhino team in 16th position, so you can see how the last KOM has taken it out of these riders and they've all started to split off. Then it's back to my group. There is Arno Oliver, and then just back to myself here and noticing that some of the riders are they've really distanced themselves from me there. There goes Robert Crank, who you can see he's opened up a 4, 5, 6 second gap on me there. Sven Olav Vestervik, he's also ahead of me. I have got Korshon, who's right back 30 seconds behind, but the 6 riders I was riding with, they've all gone off into the distance. But now that I'm back riding and focusing on myself, I'm keeping an eye on the riders ahead, and you can see that Robert Crank, he's just 8 seconds. Well, I say just. He's 8 seconds ahead, but I am slowly pulling him back in. Perhaps actually that was Van der Rouge who I'm pulling in, and Crank's just still going off into the distance. There's a rider there, Mulderich. He's come back towards our group from being well off in front. So yeah, just plodding on up the hill, really, not putting a huge amount of watts, but putting above average watts to finish, which was a real positive. So I was able to do that, but you can see I'm currently in 35th position, wanting to make sure that when I go past this rider that I can continue powering past him and he's not able to catch hold of my tail. There goes Mulderich as well, and they are still struggling. So yeah, pleased with how I was able to catch them, and I thought it would only be fair that I focused on some of the riders that were around us. WD Schmidt, he was a rider that had come back towards our group towards the end. I'm not sure if he's related to the actual winner, M. de Schmidt, but potentially it sounds as if he is, and that they were racing together. Here's Brian Gross coming over the line in 31st position, because everybody's quite spread out here. He's 10 seconds behind Crank, and he's 19 seconds ahead of me, so no chance that I'm going to catch them, but just wanted to carry on going up the hill. You can see that he's put in a good effort. His watts as he was coming up over the top of the incline was in the mid 400s. So yeah, that was good. And there's me crossing the line in coming up to the line in 32nd position. So relatively pleased with how that went. Average watts ended up being around, I think 223 was my average watts at the end. But I was a good way back from the eventual winners, so hopefully if I can sort out this WTRL series, I would like to, in a perfect world, I'd like to get some riders riding for the Danny Skids team. That would be my perfect goal, so we'll see if I can manage that, and whether all the settings and all the emails I'm sending out at the moment will allow me to get a team going in the, well, hopefully DCAT, although it's saying that I am CCAT is a bit confusing because I ride, my Zwift racing score is a CCAT. I'm not riding above 2.6 watts per kilogram, yet that's the cut-off for the season of Ds. That's a D category rider, 2.6. So I'm actually in the riding around 2.6 and below, so should be a D, but lots of my other data is showing me to be a CCAT rider, so I'm going to have to see where I can enter a team and hopefully get a team to ride alongside me. So hope you enjoyed that. It was a bit of a non-starter for me. I knew I wasn't going to be able to keep up with all the other riders. So here's the top 10. Enve Smith over the line in 31 minutes 37 seconds. Then was Nut of a Belgium, 6 seconds behind. Third was George Belanco. He was just over 6 seconds behind as well. Then fourth we had Valdemar Sexvuk. Then fifth we had Reint Kunst, the Yorkshireman. Then in sixth place, you'll understand that if you understand the Yorkshire accent. Sixth place, Andrew Drummond. He was 10 seconds behind. Seventh, Martin Hoyward. Eighth, Igor Konko. Ninth was Matthew Fretwell. And 10th was Andrew Early. So there's the top 10. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like also, and hopefully catch you again soon. Also, please follow me on Zwift, Danny Skids. You'll find me there, and then you'll be aware, hopefully, of some other races that I'm doing, and you might be able to ride alongside. Okay, cheers. Bye-bye.